So as Neil mentioned, we're a video production company, global, do 40,000 videos a year. But John will talk about that in sessions later today, about how video is kind of changing search. What I wanted to talk about is mobile visual search. Now, you might ask yourself why a video company is in something of that nature. About 5 years ago, we started looking into the fact that we do a lot of work for publishers, for newspapers, things of that nature. And there are a lot of physical assets that weren't getting integrated well or quickly into the digital environment. So we started thinking, well, how do you combine these two things together? And as we started looking at technology companies, there was a company in Edinburgh, Scotland, Mobile Acuity, that had some really interesting tech, had some interesting patents. And so we decided to actually invest in the company, not just partner with them. So it's taken a bit, and most of that is because we really needed the development of our friends at Apple and Samsung with the camera technology in our mobile devices now. So if you look from the timeline perspective, everyone here I'm sure is familiar with the QR code. It's that lovely little blob of black that appears in the bottom corner of various marketing materials. The problem with that is a few things. First, you'll get art designers who spend a lot of time creating this great piece of advertising, and then somebody comes along and puts a 2-inch square of black blob in the bottom corner. They tend to not be happy about things like that. So we started looking at, well, what if we just use the image that's on the picture instead of that blob? Well, as you can see, the developmental timeline, we needed the cameras to improve in 2000. And now in 2010, we've got a lot of activity that starts. And as we get into now, you'll see that Amazon is now including image recognition in their mobile app. In fact, if you'll notice at the bottom, 10% of their $90 billion revenue is mobile. So that's $9 billion. So even if 1% of that is based on image recognition versus search, versus traditional mobile search, that's a big number. We've got Apple getting more and more involved in this. Everyone's probably heard of Google with Google Goggles. They're going to be bringing that back out. They've had to adjust some of the tech a bit. But our whole idea with this was simply to try to keep physical alive a bit longer. It's marry that physical world with the digital world to give yet another opportunity. The best way to do this, and I'll talk more about it, is actually to go ahead and, is it going to start? There was a video there. Well, Marie, we're 0 for 2, Marie.
Why don't you, you and I could act it out.
We could.
Yes.
We could, Neil. We could. Yeah. Again, the whole idea to attempt to do that is with a mobile device, we tend to embed the tech in somebody's app, whatever app it is. And then you just go up and take a picture of it using the app and returns information, be it product information, coupon, directions to the nearest store, things of that nature. So they're working on Marie's and didn't even hear me say that the video is not playing.
Right. No, I think he knows. Hang on 1 second. In the back of the room? Yeah. Do you have the video for Mike? So Mike, tell us a little bit more about BIE Media while you're Phil.
Sure. So we are currently producing videos in Europe, Australia, the Americas, and Singapore. As I said, we do about 40,000 videos a year, ranging from simple montage videos all the way to animations, enhanced montage, and full shoots. We have about 2,000 videographers globally that shoot for us. We have a 27,000 square foot studio in Denver where all of our editors and a lot of our script writers are housed. So we've been doing streaming video in the advertising space since 2005. So for 10 years we've been doing.
So what has triggered, do you think we're at a flashpoint where video now is going to see an acceleration? I mean, we talked about video at the Kelsey Group 10 years ago. We talked about it 5 years ago. We talked about it 2 years ago. Is video now at the point because of technology or because of scaling abilities? Where is video?
Yeah, it's, Cisco is predicting that by 2017, about 85% of the internet traffic will be video-based, Neil.
Okay. So it's about bigger pipes.
It's about the 4G networks that have developed. It's about the capabilities that are there to allow good quality video to stream to your phone.
As opposed to
As
kludgy,
as opposed to kind of poor quality pixelated video.
Okay, so back at the room, do we have mics? Okay, so we're going to get this all squared away. Luckily, the temperature has come down in the room, so that's a really good thing. For a while there, it was a little warm. So video is going to come of age because bandwidth has definitely increased.
Yeah, so the technology with the smartphones and the displays, as well as then the ability and kind of the way mobile networks are dealing with that data channel has allowed that.
And I would also say it's because the consumer side of the equation doesn't want to read.
They don't. The comment I make in the Americas is your average internet user has roughly the attention span of a ferret on a double espresso.
Yeah.
So
there's not a lot of attention span out there.
And the message you can get across in 30 seconds of video takes about 5,000 words if you're trying to write it all out versus act it out. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we're almost there. Stephanie, Mike. There's always a hiccup here and there. Patience is a great virtue, though, right, Greg? You have any questions, Greg? I'm trying to do all the fill here.
Yeah.
About Caramigo?
Yeah, about Alex's preset. Oh,
I don't know where Constantino went, but I'll answer the question. What was the question? No. Caramigo, let me ask Alex here. How do you get people over the hurdle of saying they would people's cars become very personal. You know, they have their chewing gum in it, they have their Visine, they have all sorts of stuff in their personal cars. How do you get people over, I think we're ready. So I'll come back to that question. Mike, back to you.
All right, let's see if we get video. Look at that. It's just a music bed, but the idea with this shows kind of some of the implementations we've used with this product. We did one for Mattel for Barbie, so that they actually did a game where children could go into the store and take a picture of a Barbie and participate in a contest. Okay, which of course then gave them additional information. You see the idea with this tech is you can have multiple locations that it goes to. But all of this is just retrieved simply from using the app within a phone. I think then after this one should be coming up. So this was a real world demo using a billboard instead of a ad print. So it's kind of any part of the physical environment you're going to actually get information about a business. So the idea is you can walk by, take a picture of the sign, find out store hours, find out happy hours, things like that. And then the last one is going to be one we did with Rolex to get information, additional information. So the same idea, all of this is from print material. So it keeps that print material active longer because you can simply change out what the response is. Right? Maybe at one point it's location, maybe it's for Rolex, it was more information and just kind of new product development that they were doing with releases.
So I have a personal use case of this, Mike. I use an app to figure out what wine to take to friends' houses.
Yep.
I don't know how much they are, so I take a picture of the label, and it gets me back information about how much that wine costs.
Yes.
So if I know, it depends whose house we're going to.
Whether you want to go with the $20 bottle or,
Exactly,
yeah,
the
got it.
$50 bottle. So it's a great application of that exact experience.
Exactly. And you can then, so when you're in a restaurant, you can also
Yeah.
decide whether or not, it's worth the markup that restaurant's put on the bottle, if you're familiar with it, things of that nature.
Right. No,
But yeah, there's all sorts of customer engagement and retention pieces that this type of work allows us to do.